Hello, Marga. So I have just seen the email you sent me saying you can uh, see my video because it has no sound. So I take it, and apparently my laptop is broken and it doesn't record sound, so I'm gonna have to repeat it. So I'm Gloria Martinez, and this is my self-reflection video. I will start talking about the exchange with the international students international students. Yeah, well, they are international students with the New York University students, and I'm gonna talk about the other part of the course. So, first thing I want to say, it was a really interesting activity because when I think about languages, I always think about language exchange, but I haven't done any of them, any during my stay at the Universidad Autónoma. So it was really interesting to finally do something like this. I got to do it with Ana Maria from here, from UAM, and Teola. I didn't know none of them. I know none of them. Is that correct? I think so. Well, at first, what was a little bit stressful because we couldn't get in contact with Teola, but finally we got her Instagram. We followed each other, and now we are still following each other and sometimes sending messages, which is pretty cool. The other thing that was a little bit difficult to do was getting together to do it because of the different time zones and hours we have. Also because the New York University students, for example, for Teola, she was an African studies student, but Spanish was just like an optative, so she was into it, but not. She doesn't give it like the full, like it's not the most important thing for her. So it was like, yeah, we're gonna do this video, okay. And it was really hard to get together, but once we got together, it was really, 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 really easy to talk to Teola, which was pretty impressive. So the first task, I think, is the perfect first task for something like this, because we had to talk about our daily routines, and that's perfect for starting because we didn't know each other, so we have nothing to talk about. But with this, we have to talk about our lives, and also like it's easy to ask questions to get to know the other person, which is really, really nice, to get the confidence to talk with them. So then the second task was the stereotypes, which I think was interesting, but maybe right now it could have been more about another thing, because I feel like how is it called? Prejudice or stereotypes, sorry. Stereotypes. Before starting, I knew Teola was gonna tell us about siesta, fiesta, and toros. And she knew we were gonna say guns, Donald Trump, American Dream, and all of this. So it kind of feel like, okay, get over it. So it's like we live in a international environment, in a global community, so we know stereotypes are not true. So I was telling to her, oh, yeah, Americans like guns, but I was like, okay, I already know you don't have to like guns to be American. So maybe it would have been better to talk about what, for example, what I think is being Spanish and what they think is being American, because that way we can share another perspective that will, I don't know, I think will be more enrichment for us. And then the last task was about the linguistic setting, or something like that. Linguistic landscape. Okay. So I went to the city center and I was really, really surprised because I didn't know most of those things. Like almost everything is in English. Like all the shops are in English. There are some shops that aren't even in Spanish. They just don't worry about the Spanish people. They are in English. And there are also some shops that are just for international people. Like, this is for tourists. It's all in English. So it was really, really nice. Also, I didn't know like the historical places, they have signs in English, and I didn't know that. So I learned a lot of that. And then Teola showed us her photos, and it was all about restaurants and menus. So I think for her, Spanish was mostly about the restaurants she like and all of that. I don't know if there's Spanish anywhere else, but it was really interesting. This activity has really helped me because I spent last year doing an Erasmus in Scotland, so now I'm more used to speaking in English, but still I was pretty shy about talking to a stranger on a camera and have to record it. So yeah, I was a little bit stressed about it, but then when we got into the video and started the recording, I was like, oh, she's nice. They are nice. So this is really easy to do. Like what I'm doing now, I'm talking alone and I'm just doing it. So this activity has really helped me to get over it and probably will help me in my future job because we live in an international kind of environment now. So I'm probably going to work with people all over the world. And I'm going to use something like Zoom or Skype. So it's pretty nice to have the abilities now to use it. And I want to talk about the other part of the course. We started with Padlet, which I think was really interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with my future, but I may be a teacher. And that social media, I can think, kind of thing or tool, I think it's really interesting. Like, if, for example, I have a class, a high school class, I will tell all my kids like to make a profile because it helps all of them. Like they all feel it with their own belief, like who they are, and they all create posts and posts of who they are, and they can share it with the class. So it's a way of getting them to write in English, and at the same time, it's a really good way of making them know each other, like for real. Because sometimes you feel like you're in a class, but you don't really know the person sitting next to you. So this can really help because we did it, and I got to know better the people that were in my Padlet group, for example. And I have been with them for 4 years, and many of the things they put there, I didn't know anything about them. So it was really good for that. And it's a really useful tool. Then we use Miwi, which I think is okay. I don't know if I'm gonna use it in my future, but it's okay to discover a new social media platform. But I don't know what use it can have to learning, but it was okay. Then the other thing I did, oh yeah, I read an article about video games and the learning of a language. This was really, really good because I didn't know this had that importance. It was mostly about like online games and or role games, something like Dungeons and Dragons. No, it's called, well, it's the other one, but yeah, it's like you have a character, you create it, and then you go to an online world, and there you have to talk to other people online, mostly in English because English is the international language. So you are practicing the language while actually playing, and you want to keep practicing because you want to keep playing and you want to keep talking to those people because they are maybe your friends. And I think this is really interesting because video games for me is the future of learning. Like, for example, I imagine a time like when a class is no longer books, it's just like a video games. Like students just go and they are like learning through a game, and then getting to the next level, reaching the knowledge we want to teach them. So I think this was really, really interesting to learn, and I didn't know anything about it. And then we have the quizzes. One was really famous. I can't remember now the name, but Kahoot. Okay, it was Kahoot. Kahoot is really, really good. I have already used it. in an English academy I went to, the teacher used to play Kahoot with us, and I was really into it. So getting to know how to make a Kahoot, which I didn't know, is really useful in my future, because I'm probably gonna be a language teacher someday. Even I don't know if like in a high school, or maybe an academy, but it's something that is probably gonna happen. So I will definitely use Kahoot in my future. The other two, I think they were a really interesting tool, not just for me, for like playing with the students, but for them to use it as a way of learning. Like, instead of writing a whole page of vocabulary, they could just write some cards in these games, and maybe they will invest more time doing it like this way online than a paper. So maybe they think they are playing, but what they are doing is learning new vocabulary, and I think that's really cool. I think that those were all the tasks. So my final comment is like, when I opt to this subject, I didn't know what it was about. I got here and I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? There are so many tasks. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I'm I'm so bad with technology, but now I can control many different apps, and I feel like I can make. If I go inside a class now, I have so many tools I can use to make the students feel more connected with the language and myself. For example, I'm more connected with the language because I have learned how to approach it in a really different way I didn't use before. So I have improved my technology skills, well, my social skills, my English learning skills, and my teaching skills, all of them. So when thinking about a grade, I don't like to give me the highest grade, never, because I never think I do things perfectly, because that's impossible for me. Like, to do something perfect is just not possible. So yeah, but I do believe I merecer. I deserve a great grade because I have worked a lot on this subject. I have really learned how to use all the tools you have given us, which I think was the goal of this, to get into it, to really work on it, and to try to get the most of it as you can. So I think that's something I have achieved. So I believe I deserve a good grade. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't like to put myself a note or anything. So okay, this is almost 15 minutes. So thank you for listening. I'm sorry if this was too boring or something. Thanks for being my teacher this semester, and I hope you had an amazing holiday. Bye.